All right, so I'll kick off while you respond. I'll kick off the center back conversation.
Sure.
So obviously, three center backs made the best 11 team: Miles Robinson, Walker Zimmerman, and Yeimar Gomez Andrade. I will say off the bat, I think Zimmerman and Gomez Andrade definitely should be in the conversation. I would personally, like, if you were going to keep it three center backs across the best 11, I would personally still keep those two in there. I would probably take out Miles Robinson. I think some of that, I still think obviously he's a great player, but I do think some of that is definitely men's national team hype that he got that kind of carried him into that spot there. I would say underrated that definitely should be in the conversation is Nathan from San Jose.
Oh, yeah.
He was very good this season. I know, obviously, he was on a terrible San Jose team, and I don't believe he was here for the whole season. I think he came in late.
He came in halfway.
Yeah, I thought so. I think those are two things as to why he wasn't in consideration, but he should be because he was very strong this season. I also think that Jack Elliott should definitely be in the conversation as well. I'd probably go Jack Elliott over Glesnes, but I think definitely a center back from the Philly back line should be in the consideration because Philly were very strong defensively. And I think Jack Elliott really had a strong year. As much as I don't want to admit it, Adam called it. He did.
Adam called it just for the memes. He didn't know anything about it.
Oh, no, it was totally luck. But yeah, I think strong year from Jack Elliott definitely should be in the consideration, but I still wouldn't necessarily put him in my top three. I still think Miles Robinson should be in the conversation, but again, I wouldn't put him in my best 11 list. I think if I had to, I'd prefer to go with four in the back line. So if you ask me my opinion as to defensive best 11, I think it should be Bravo, Yeimar, Zimmerman, and Duncan. That would be my back four. But if I had to throw in a third center back, I'd probably actually go Nathan, honestly. Sean Nealis, I know you're going to be happy about this one, but yeah, I would consider Sean Nealis as an outside chance. I wouldn't necessarily like group him in with the Nathans, the Jack Elliott's, the Yeimars, but I think he had a very like quietly strong season. Austin Aaron Trusty I would say kind of in that same group as Nealis, but yeah, that's probably where I sit center back wise, I think. So kind of like a little bit of different tiers in terms of like who's actually kind of in the conversation for me, but
I would absolutely not be shocked to see Nathan back here next year. Like
I hope so.
Actually making it.
Yeah.
No problems with either of the three. I think you're right. I think Miles Robinson is in the same boat as Matt Turner in terms of benefiting from some men's national team hype. Whatever. Mm-hmm. Jack Elliott definitely in the conversation. If we're going to talk about Yarborough being in the Golden Glove competition only because of his back line, then somebody from his back line needs to be in this conversation. So Trusty's definitely in there. Or Lalas Abubakar. They're right next to each other.
Yeah, fair.
Sean Nealis, again, if we're talking about Carlos Cornell only being there because of his strong back line, Sean Nealis has to be in that conversation. Do I think he was a best 11? No, but do I think he was a main reason that we were as successful as we were? Yes, he was as good as it gets.
Yeah.
From a guy that should not have been nearly that good. When our Aaron Long went down, we thought it was over. So very happy to see him there. Henry Kessler might be in that conversation as well, but the person who I think is outside of the conversation only because of the fact that he was with Peru for the majority of their World Cup qualifiers, Alexander Cayens is absolutely class. And I know we just had this whole conversation, but I was telling Matthew this through the entire game. I think they are in trouble whenever he decides to either move on or retire because he is absolutely class. He's so good. But yeah, so Walker, Yeimar, Nathan, Jack, Trusty, Kessler, and Nealis kind of like on the outside, Abubakar on the outside, and then Alexander Cayens is like, if he played more, he's in.